you've been singled out quite a lot on social media, Twitter, and so on and so forth, and you've been on the receiving end of some real vitriol and hatred, haven't you? Why? Why do you think?
Because I rocked the boat a little bit, and I think I upset the core of what is the approved narrative. I mentioned a groupthink in education. It's wider than just education. It is the left in general have kind of painted themselves as the good guys, and they've made an us versus them mentality. They've siloed off anyone that doesn't agree with them, and if you are part of that, and if you are speaking up and essentially breaking down what they're saying as a falsehood or bad, then you are the enemy and you are to be destroyed.
Well, I think your case in particular, you demonstrate very clearly that their position isn't really about ethics, it's about ideology.
Yes.
So the minute someone doesn't kind of fit into the box and respond as they think they should do to all the characteristics, then all hell breaks loose. How did that impact on you?
I mean, it's not pleasant. It's not something I enjoy. Always feeling like you're in a battle. But, you know, a good example of what you just said is the critical race theory argument. You know, on the left, they will say, we are the good guys because we want everyone to be equal. And of course, who wouldn't want equality, at least equality of opportunity? But what they're talking about is equity, not equality. And what they're talking about is, you know, they're telling people that there are so many barriers to ethnic minorities in this country that you can never achieve anything. And I've said it a million times, but it is a self-fulfilling prophecy that if you tell people so often that they are held back, they'll start to believe it. And either they'll use it as an excuse or they'll see their life through that prism and feel held back. Whereas I stand up and say, no, you know, you can make anything of your life if you work hard enough. It doesn't matter what color your skin is in this country. We're all equal under the law. And I'm a living, breathing example of that, you know. I've achieved some successes. I've made some failures as well, but that's how life works. And we should all acknowledge that if we don't get to where we want to be in life, it's not because of the color of our skin. It's because maybe we haven't worked hard enough, or there are other circumstances at play. And we need to look at the wider picture and not just assume that it's down to our race, because that's lazy and ignorant and wrong. And by me saying that and living my life as I do, I break down what they're saying, in that their approach is the only approach that can fix racial inequalities. And the reason they want that is because that's how they get into power. That's how they get positions of control.
I suppose that's what I was going to say. Is the left supposedly empower, don't they? But by characterising certainly minorities in terms of victimhood, they do anything but, don't they? Would you say that's true?
Yeah, it's patronising. It's wrong. I think the far left at this point have reached, it is that, you know, that shoehorn shape of politics. The far left have reached the elements of the far right, where they are putting people into boxes based on their immutable characteristics and saying, you are this because of the way you were born and you can't control that about yourself. There's nothing you can do to change it. And that's wrong. We shouldn't be looking at the world like that. I'm not an individualist, but an individualistic approach is better than the collectivist approach, in that everyone has an opportunity to change their lives, to live their lives as they see fit, and no one should be putting them into labels or boxes and say, you belong in that group, you go on with stuff over there, and we'll do this, and we'll help you, of course. And how condescending is that? Like, that just because you're brown, you need help from someone who isn't brown. Why?
It's really condescending. It's really condescending. Can I just segue into and bring history into it slightly now? And I'm going to do it via an experience that you had, and it was on Talk Radio, I think, and you were talking to someone called Ken Hind, and this was, you turned the Zoom off, didn't you? Yeah. What was going on in that?
First time I've ever walked out of an interview, but we were talking about Meghan Markle, actually, a person I really don't like, for lots of reasons. But there's a common, this is a good argument of how it breaks down the left's argument, actually, because they would say you cannot criticize Meghan, because if you do, you're a racist because she's brown. And I'm obviously brown myself, so I thought, I'll criticize her because I don't like what she's done. I think actually she's lied on this point and that point, and that's inappropriate, immoral. I think she's attacking our British institution of the monarchy. But they couldn't automatically say, you're a racist because I'm not white, which they would have done if I was white. They'd say, you're attacking a brown person, you are racist, which is why I stood up and did it publicly and said, no, this is not appropriate. But what the person did is said, you're letting the side down. You are mixed race as she is. You should
You should
defend
support her.
she is one of your own.
You should support her,
I should support her
no matter what she's done
Yeah.
or what she's said.
because
or-
she's part of my tribe. And excuse me, she's not part of my tribe. If I belong to a tribe, it's my Christian brothers and sisters or my British subjects. I'm not part of a tribe based on the color of my skin. And for someone to silo me into that is racist.